This is my $100 crate cabinet that I got last year at Guitar Center. I don't know its power rating, I don't even know its impedance. All I know is that it sounds terrible, and I'm going to capture some impulse responses of it. So I've been thinking lately, how can I get more subscribers on my channel? And I think with this video I've come up with a 1-2 punch solution. I look at all these other metal guitar and metal recording YouTubers out there, and I think I've nailed down 2 strategies. 1, do giveaways. So in this video I'm going to be dangling the carrot of, some impulse responses that I've created as a little bit of an incentive to drive traffic to this video. I'm completely shameless about this. And the second strategy that I've nailed down, talk about unique guitar tones a lot. Like, to talk about how your guitar tone needs to be unique. There's an issue I have with the world of YouTube guitar. Like, everybody all the time is telling you, be unique, do this thing, and it will make your tone sound unique. Make your guitar tone not cookie cutter. Make your guitar tone sound unique with this one unheard of trick. But everybody who tells you this on all these big metal recording channels is counterintuitively then removing any uniqueness that the guitar tone they created may have built up by them not doing the typical metal guitar tone recording path that is used in the modern metal recording aesthetic. What really pushed me over the edge to make this video was the latest Cola Keller Studio video. Now, I love Cola Keller Studio's videos. Well, less now that he's turned into a salesman for his own products instead of, a teacher. But I think that he has some really good content, so, I still follow the channel. But he recently posted this video, where he made, a black metal guitar tone. The thumbnail looked really interesting, the title looked really interesting, as it usually does. And I was like, hey, new Cola Keller Studio video, I'll watch it. And he was, blending guitar amp models for the tone, models from a Kemper Profiler. One of the models he was using was a classic YouTube guitar amp, Driftwood Darkest Nightmare. There are certain guitar amps that I like to call YouTube guitar amps. You never see them any place other than YouTube metal guitar gear review channels, like Rev, Driftwood. Have you ever seen a Rev amp or a Driftwood amp in the wild? I don't think so. They're only on guitar YouTubers' channels. Name me one well-known guitarist that tours with a Rev or a Driftwood. I'll wait. And for the other tone, he was using a Kemper Profile of an HM2 going into some amplifier. And the Kemper Profiler is not great at capturing pedals, so the tone didn't quite sound like an HM2. It actually didn't sound anything like an HM2, but he used it anyway. And the goal of this video, as stated in the beginning and in the title of the video, was to make a, truly evil and dirty and not generic guitar tone. But the guitar tone ended up sounding like exactly that, as it always does in these videos. Every time they're fixing to get to a guitar tone that is properly unique, they're like, oh, we need to make it tighter, or oh, we need to reduce the gain, oh, we need to take out some mids, we need to take out some muddiness. No, leave that in. You're going against your own goals if you're moving it constantly toward this mix-ready ideal that you have in your heads. So that's why I wanted to create some impulse responses of a cabinet that sounds absolutely horrible by modern metal aesthetic standards. Poor bass response, no mids, the fizziest treble you've ever heard, and I want to use it in a context where there's no EQ on the guitars, and I want to provide you with the impulses that I captured so that you can use them and see what unique truly sounds like. The methodology for creating these impulses was pretty simple. I ran the sweep tone out of my interface into my direct box backwards to convert it to the proper level and impedance. And then into this really handy little 170 watt Seymour Duncan clean power amp that I picked up, and I just ran the sweep tone into that through the crate cab. I recorded all the sweeps with an SM58, placed it at various locations around one of the speakers, choked it right up against the cabinet grill, moved it back to a more reasonable position, and then to a far position. For the first two distances, I did two microphone placements, one pointing directly at the center of the speaker, and one pointing a little bit off-center of the speaker, more like the dust cap edge. And then I turned the sweeps into impulses, and there we go. Now, obviously, this does not sound great by modern metal aesthetics standards, but it's unique. And because this is just a random, ridiculously cheap cabinet that I picked up at Guitar Center, and because it's a cabinet with speakers in it, unique speakers in it, it has a unique sound. It's miles away from a Mesa or a Marshall. But it's not mix ready. Mix ready? What does that mean? Like, every time I see these people talk about the mix ready ideal, it's just this one homogenized Andy Sneap derived sound. There was no such thing as this mix ready style back in the 90s when a large amount of classic metal was released. People were recording with whatever they had. And if you take this mix ready ideal that these YouTubers preach as gospel, then your sounds, no matter what stuff you use, is going to become more homogenized because you're going to be making the same EQ moves, you're going to be adjusting the same frequency regions to the same standards, all for the sake of making it mix ready so you can hear it in a mix. Hear it in a mix, just turn the gain slider up. The gain slider exists. If you want to capture a unique guitar sound, it's my belief that you need to capture it for what it truly is, warts and all, and not change it, not try to make it more mix ready, as it were, or change its character. And that is why in this upcoming full mix demo that I prepared, I put no EQ on the guitar tracks. There are 4 guitar tracks. One pair is the far proximity impulse response loaded into an impulse response player, and the amp simulator being used is a Soldano SLO 100 model. The other pair of guitar tracks is a live amp. I'm using this Black Clouds distortion pedal. This is kind of like an amp in a box. It has a ridiculously modern, djenty, mid-forward type of sound. And I'm just using it in preamp mode and going straight into the Seymour Duncan power stage. I track the drums live. The bass is my bass half stack. So everything you're fixing to hear is out of the box. And by that metric, it has more potential to sound truly unique. Let me roll it and see what you think. No EQ on those guitars. And does it sound great by modern metal aesthetic standards? Does it sound great by more technical standards? Absolutely not. But I think it does sound like itself. And I think that's what really matters. You know, can you hear it? Can you hear the sound of the guitars? Yes, you can. You know, if you can hear it, then by my standards, it's mix ready. I could have done a low pass and cut out all the fizziness. I could have boosted the mids. I could have done something to tame the weird sucking quality of the bass frequencies, but I didn't. And, you know, once you have a guitar tone in a full band situation like that, then a lot of that stuff honestly goes away. Like, a lot of the fizz starts to blend in with the cymbals. And if you have a mids heavy bass tone like I do, then the bass is just going to fill the gap in the mids and you're going to hear the bass there. Not exactly what modern metal mixing expects to see, but I had a lot of fun putting this thing together. And you know, those impulse responses do exist, and you can download them right now. Look down in the description. A Google Drive link containing a zipped file with all 5 impulses is down there, and I hope that you have fun with them if you decide to download them and put them to good use. That's all I have for you tonight. You know, if you liked the video, you know, do the whole YouTube routine that everybody tells you to do, and look out in the future for more videos along these lines. I do not have an upload schedule, but when I do upload videos, you can be sure they're going to be absolute bangers. So take care of yourselves, everybody.